All right, thank you everybody for coming. We are here today to hear the mayor announce the Safe and Responsible Contractor Executive Order that many of the folks in this room, many folks that will be joining in the future, have worked very hard to put together. I want to start off here by asking Mayor Peduto to come up and share some remarks about the order. Thank you.
Thanks, and thanks, guys. Councilman Gilman can join me. I know Councilman O'Connor's on his way and will be joining us as well. Councilman Lavelle sent a message saying that he wasn't going to be able to be here for this press conference, but will be working with us on this project. We know that there are going to be a need for a lot of jobs in this region. After decades of fighting for scraps, we now are going to be in a process where there's going to be an economic boom happening, not just within the city, but throughout this entire region. What we want to assure is that when we use public dollars, that development benefits everyone. We want to make sure that when we're hiring people to work on these jobs, that we're providing life-sustaining wages and the opportunity for people to have a part of this economic boom. We want to make sure that we have people who are trained so that there is a safe building environment as construction happens all over this city. And we want to assure that those that are unemployed or underemployed are given opportunities to come through in apprenticeship programs, because we're going to need workers to be able to do all the work that's going to be asked of us. We stand on the shoulders of giants when it comes to workers' rights in this city. We stand on the shoulders of giants when we talk about the history of labor within this region. We not only built America, we built the middle class. And as we see this next generation coming through that will be a part of this economic development boom, we're not going to take one step backward. We're going to take 2 steps forward to assure that everyone has a part of that economic growth. Today, there's an executive order that will be going out that issues the Safe and Responsible Contractor Executive Order that creates a new construction industry task force. The task force will be charged with providing recommendations to both myself and to City Council that will ensure the safe and reliable contractors are working in the city, that will connect local residents, including the unemployed and underemployed, with good training, employment, and careers, and overall ensure when public money is spent on a construction project that there's an opportunity for all to benefit. I'm here, Councilman Lavelle is here, with Councilman Gilman and Councilman Lavelle, and I'd like to turn it over to them as we put together this task force and the missions that they would like to see incorporated within it. Guys.
Thank you, Mayor. It's an honor to be here. I think, for me, I can summarize it this way, and that is that rising tides raise all ships. In my council district, in my first 4 years, we've had about $750 million of economic development. When you put in the years I was chief of staff to Mayor Peduto when he was a councilman, District 8 has seen between $2 and $3 billion of development. That's good. That is good for the region. I want the economic development, but it's only great when it brings up everybody with them. When the immediate neighbors see benefit from new development in their neighborhoods, when people in the neighborhood are able to get jobs, good family-sustaining wages, when, because they have a job, they go home at the end of the night with health care, with protections for their children, with the ability to be at home with their son and daughter doing homework, coaching their neighborhood Little League team, paying for pre-K or for college education for their kids. Not when those jobs don't pay wages, when those jobs support people not from Western Pennsylvania, and when those jobs pay so little that people go on to a second and a third job. Today, we can stand here together and make sure the billions of dollars that the city of Pittsburgh is going to see, make sure that everyone has an opportunity to improve their lives, not just for themselves, but for future generations. That's what happened in Pittsburgh's past. Whether it was in the mills or the mines or in the construction trades, we made sure that we built America's middle class. And we're going to do that again as the world changes and automation changes everything, and where jobs are created is changed and globalization changes. Pittsburgh once again can show how we rebuild a middle class and work together to make sure that everyone can be part of this success. So I appreciate everyone in this room. I particularly appreciate the mayor's leadership and my partners on council. And with that, I'll introduce Councilman Daniel Lavelle.
First and foremost, I want to thank Mayor Peduto and also commend him for his leadership on this issue. And I'll echo my colleagues' sentiments that this is about raising everyone's living. But even more specifically, we also need to face a very harsh reality that exists in the city of Pittsburgh, which is that unfortunately, to this day, the African American community is still among the most impoverished in this country of any major metropolitan city. And that reality has got to change. And through the billions of economic development activity that's occurring, we have an opportunity to do that. And we have an opportunity to make sure that the African American community is truly becoming a middle class community, because they also are going to assist in the redevelopment and rebirth and continued success of this city. And we have an opportunity to do it all together. I've had the privilege of working with all of you over the last 7 years, and I look forward to working with all of you moving forward, crafting strong policy to bring forward to City Council. And with the mayor's leadership and with all of your support, I truly believe that we can indeed make this the most livable city for everyone. Thank you.
All right, with that, I want to invite up Ken Marino, who is with the board of the Builders Guild of Western Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. For those of you who may not be familiar with the board, it is the Builders Guild of Western Pennsylvania. It's a rather unique initiative that combines labor and management, where we can sit down once a month and discuss common concerns that we have that relate to the construction industry. In that vein, we totally support what the mayor has done with this initiative, this task force to develop safe and responsible contractor policy. We certainly look forward to the recommendations of the task force, and with the vitality and the economic growth that we're experiencing in southwestern Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh certainly being the center city of the hub city that's a recipient of a lot of this growth, we need to develop a contractor base and that is vibrant and that can bring all these projects in on time and on budget. And we look forward to what the task force comes up with. Thank you.
Next, we have with us the Senior Vice President for Development for Oxford, Scott Pollock.
Councilman, thank you very much for having me here today. Councilman, I agree with you. Rising tide does lift all ships, and we're glad to be a part of it. As I am Scott Pollock. I am with Oxford Development, and at Oxford we believe that the safe and successful delivery of construction projects is imperative to our business, and even more so for the growth of the city. Oxford and our many clients with whom we have teamed to develop many of the region's hospitals, sports facilities, hospitality and residential and office projects understand that it takes good contractors and good tradesmen, and we count on the safety, quality, dependability, and drug-free work ethic that we receive from the contractors and trades that we work so hard to pay for. We understand that effective licensing, procurement, and economic development policies will provide for fair competition and and help us to level the field for us buyers of construction services and who are competing in this marketplace to develop product. I'm pleased that our mayor recognizes the importance of a properly trained and skilled labor workforce, and we are facing a shortage of these workers. And it's this shortage that's an opportunity to train the undertrained and underemployed and residents who could help the city meet demand for skilled workers. I look forward to the recommendations of the task force, and we support this effort and will do anything that's asked of us. Thank you.
And thank you for those comments. Councilman Corey O'Connor has just joined us. Wanted to give him a minute to say a few words.
I don't know what was said before, but thank you everybody for being here. I want to thank the mayor, my council colleagues. We brought this to your attention a couple months ago with some help from a lot of great leaders in labor, community activists as well. This is a great program that internally in the city of Pittsburgh we could start to rebuild the middle class. And there are going to be a lot of skilled jobs out there well into the future. And I know our county councilman was in Hazelwood with me talking about getting our youth employed, because there are a number of huge projects that are coming up in the city of Pittsburgh, and we don't want the next generation to be passed up. And steps like this that we took at council, that the mayor's taking with this task force, are really going to help our city well into the future. So thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you for your support, and all of our leaders here today, thank you for your continued support on building our trades. That's the most important thing going on for the next decade as well in the city. And as well as I want to thank my council colleagues for supporting our will of council and the legislation that's going to come forward in the future. So thank you.
And just one more note, I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize DeWitt Walton, who's a county council member and also a big leader on this issue. So pass it back over to Mayor Peduto.
Thanks, that's a good segue. There's a couple of things we have to understand about this. We're talking about a seismic change within the next 10 years about development in this region, and we need to be prepared. When we look at proposals that come in, we want there to be a bar that has to be met, with wages that have to be paid, with benefits that have to be accrued. We don't want to see the lowest bid come in on the backs of the men and women who will be building these buildings. We want to make sure that everybody is bidding and approaching these contracts and asking for government help with an understanding of this is what we expect in Pittsburgh. And then we have to look and see where that next workforce is going to come from. And within this city right now, we have an opportunity to train and get into the workforce a pipeline to be ready for this need. Because if we don't do it here, we're going to be looking to West Virginia, in Ohio, in Western Maryland, or else we can help to bring up folks and give them a career, people from right here in this city, and to be able to create apprenticeship programs that are working on site, neighborhood by neighborhood in this city. Now, we have corporate support from the corporate developers that are saying, give us a fair field and we'll bid on it and we'll make sure that we can meet those types of standards. We have support from labor saying, give us qualified candidates and we'll bring them into the fold because we're going to need them working all over this region. And we have support from government saying, this is the type of standard we want to meet. Because in this country, as it starts to get further and further of a chasm between the haves and the have-nots, the Pittsburgh way is pulling it back together. And we owe it to every person who sacrificed in the previous generations that we respect that and we work toward it. And we can do it. So this task force will have leaders in workforce development, leaders within the building trades, leaders within development companies, leaders within government, to assure that everyone is at that table and that we all work together after the same goal: quality, compensation for quality work. So to those that have brought this issue up for years, thank you. Thank you for continuing. Now we basically have the work in front of us. This administration is committed to seeing this done this year. This city council is committed to seeing this done this year. So we have to roll up our sleeves and get to work and provide the recommendations of what that will look like for this city and for the city's workers this year.